For centuries, we've been entrained to believe in heaven and hell as distant, physical places, one a paradise, the other a pit of despair. But what if that narrative wasn't meant to guide us, but to control us? Ancient Gnostic texts present a radical perspective. Heaven and hell aren't just locations, they're states of consciousness. Rather than awaiting us after death, they're reflections of our current state, influenced by our awareness and vibration. Right now, we're living in our own heaven or hell, governed by our thoughts and feelings. As Christianity rose to prominence, it transformed from a message of hope and love into a system that wielded fear like a weapon. Initially, followers were drawn to teachings of compassion and a connection with the divine. But as the Church consolidated power, fear became a cornerstone for obedience. Imagine a world where the idea of eternal torment was not a mere doctrinal element, but a fearsome specter used to control the masses. The image of hell morphed into a tool of psychological manipulation, painting a frightening portrait of what awaited those who dared to stray from the prescribed path. In stark contrast stood the Gnostics, the original seekers of hidden truths. These thinkers rejected the notion of an angry, vengeful God. Instead, they embraced a concept of divine source as pure love, an unfathomable energy that would never condemn a soul to endless suffering. They believed in the innate goodness within every individual, fostering a direct connection to the divine rather than fostering fear of it. This conflict reveals a profound chasm, a church that instilled dread and a Gnostic view that celebrated freedom and light. The Church was not merely concerned with souls in the afterlife. It aimed to ensure compliance in this world, urging followers to subjugate their inner divinity to the hierarchical power of the earthly realm. By sowing seeds of fear, they tucked away the truth of divine love and connection, leaving many to grapple with their spirituality shackled by anxiety. In Gnostic thought, the concept of death carries a profound significance, marking not an end, but a transformative awakening. This perspective shifts fundamentally from traditional views of judgment and punishment. For many of us, the idea of death can trigger feelings of fear or uncertainty, often steeped in narratives that portray the afterlife as a testing ground. Gnostics invite us to see death differently. Rather than a test to pass or fail, it serves as a doorway to remembrance, to uncovering the deeper truths of who we are. Imagine for a moment the layers of illusion that we navigate in our daily lives. False identities crafted from societal expectations, career roles, or relationships. The Gnostic path teaches that when we die, these layers begin to dissolve. We don't simply cease to exist. Instead, we embark on a journey of shedding the outward identities that have masked our true selves. For the ignorant, death appears as a final curtain call. However, for those who are awakening, it signals a homecoming, a return to the essence of our being. In texts like the Pistis Sophia, we find teachings from Christ that illuminate this journey. After death, the soul ascends through various realms characterized by light and shadow, not to face judgment, but to engage in a profound recognition of its true nature. These realms reflect our experiences, allowing us to navigate through memories and realizations of our existence. Heaven and hell, in this light, are not external places of reward or punishment. Instead, they are mirrors of our own inner state, showcasing how deeply we've awakened to that divine spark within ourselves. This Gnostic view encourages us to look beyond the surface of life and death, embracing the notion that our journey doesn't conclude with physical demise. Instead, it pushes us to cultivate a deeper awareness now so we can greet that moment of transition with clarity and understanding. As we explore this path, we can begin to see that with every moment of awakening, we lay the groundwork for the soul's return to its origin, fostering a life that reflects this profound truth. Imagine for a moment that life is played out on a grand stage, where an unseen force orchestrates every scene from behind the curtain. This is the essence of the Demiurge, a concept rooted in Gnosticism that portrays a powerful being who believes himself to be the true God. However, rather than being an all-loving creator, this entity has crafted a material universe filled with illusions, false heavens, and false hells designed to ensnare souls in never-ending cycles of fear and worship. Consider how easy it is to feel drawn to what seems divine in our everyday lives, like the pursuit of success, approval, or security. Often, those very pursuits can become traps that keep us tethered to the Demiurge's false narratives. Individuals might think they're following the light, but in reality, they're unknowingly serving this imitation deity that thrives on their devotion born of fear. The Gnostics offer a crucial warning. When we confront death, our soul faces a pivotal moment. If we mistake the false heavens created by the Demiurge for the true spiritual realm, we risk being recycled back into the illusion, trapped in an endless cycle of suffering and deceit. Recognizing this deception is essential to achieving liberation from the Demiurge's grasp. Ultimately, the real source of existence transcends names and forms. It invites us to break free from fear-driven devotion. By seeking profound truth within ourselves, we can find a way to connect to the divine that truly matters. In the shadowy corridors of ancient texts, particularly the secret Gospels of Thomas and Philip, we discover a profound truth about Jesus' intentions. He wasn't merely a figurehead come to establish a new religion. His mission was far deeper and more transformative. He illuminated a hidden path for souls yearning for liberation from the clutches of the lower realms. Through his enigmatic parables, he offered cryptic clues meant for those ready to peel back the layers of established dogma. When Jesus proclaimed, "The kingdom of heaven is within you," he was unveiling a radical perspective. This wasn't about the external rituals or beliefs that often anchor us, but rather a call to embark on an inner journey. The salvation he spoke of isn't a distant promise for the afterlife, but a present reality awaiting our awakening. It's a gentle nudge for each of us to look within, to seek the deeper essence of our being where the divine resides, free from fear and doubt. Consider the symbolism of his crucifixion. Rather than viewing it as a transaction to absolve sin, we may see it as a powerful gesture urging us to transcend our own fear of death and the illusions we cling to. It invites us to confront the ultimate truth, that our essence transcends this material existence. Those who truly understood his message gained the tools to navigate the afterlife with awareness, unburdened by the weight of judgment. Imagine facing that final moment with courage rather than fear, illuminated by a profound understanding of life's cyclical nature. This awareness awakens a sense of freedom, allowing us to flow through the realms with grace, transcending the dualities that often imprison our souls. It's about embracing our divine nature and realizing that the answers we seek aren't in the religious systems around us, but embedded deep within our hearts. As we ponder these teachings, we're called to ask ourselves, what illusions are we still clinging to? How can we cultivate that inner awareness and unlock the kingdom that lies within? The journey through the hidden path laid out by Jesus is not an abstract concept. It's a relatable invitation for us all to step into our true selves, unafraid and unencumbered by the external markers of worth or belief. Embracing this wisdom inspires a transformation that leads us beyond, guiding us toward genuine awakening and ultimately, liberation. Imagine your essence vibrating at a frequency that aligns perfectly with love, wisdom, and light. This is how Gnostic masters envisioned heaven, not as a distant paradise in the clouds, but as a state of vibration, a realm that resonates with your innermost self. When you cultivate these higher qualities in your life, you find yourself naturally ascending toward spaces that reflect this energy. On the flip side, when your thoughts are tangled in ignorance, guilt, or hate, you're drawn toward denser realms, often misunderstood as hell. But what if I told you that these aren't punishments? Rather, They are reflections of your consciousness, the outcome of your choices and perceptions. Every thought you nurture shapes the world you'll awaken to after death. Heaven doesn't act as a reward. It's a recognition of who you've always been, while hell is simply a state of forgetting. It's like being lost in the fog of your own mind. But every moment is a chance to change direction, to raise your frequency, to remember your true nature. The more you embody love and light now, the closer you move toward your true home. Imagine standing at the edge of a vast ocean, feeling the breeze on your face, knowing that what lies beneath the surface is both mysterious and inviting. When we think about death, we often dredge up fears and uncertainties, but the ancient Gnostics viewed this transition as a journey through 7 spheres, each representing a challenge or lesson tailored just for us. As your soul ascends, you encounter archons, not traditional demons lurking in the shadows, but rather energetic gatekeepers, manifesting from your own insecurities, attachments, and fears. Picture them as reflections in a mirror. Each archon serves as a teacher, prompting you to confront what you've held on to that no longer serves your growth. The enlightened soul embraces this experience, recognizing these archons and the illusions they present as mere distractions on the path to liberation. Their awareness allows them to glide effortlessly from one sphere to the next, while those still entangled in the material world can find themselves ensnared by their own attachments, pulled back into the cycle of rebirth. At the core of this journey lies the essence of Jesus' mission. His teachings were meant to illuminate these stages, providing a cosmic map that guides our souls back to the source. His resurrection signifies the ultimate promise, awakening from the cycle of illusion, enabling us to transcend our fears, embrace our true nature, and reunite with divine consciousness. This journey isn't only about the end, but a profound invitation to reassess our lives. It beckons us to recognize that we have the power to awaken now, to confront our illusions, and prepare for that inevitable transition. The path is not merely about what happens when we die, but how we choose to live, consciously aware and aligned with our true purpose. The erasure of the original teachings has always been shrouded in mystery, but it's clear that the truth was buried because a free soul poses a threat to the status quo. Imagine a world where everyone recognizes their own inherent power, a world where we don't rely on external forces for our salvation. The doctrine of eternal heaven and hell, designed to maintain control, keeps us in a cycle of obedience, buying our peace with fear. When the Nag Hammadi texts were unearthed in 1945, they opened a door to perspectives that challenged this fear-based narrative. These Gospels talked about divine awakening, reincarnation, and the illusory nature of death itself. Sounds liberating, right? Yet this liberation was branded as heresy because it hinted at a radical truth. No priest, no church, and no savior can mediate your connection to the divine. The power is already within you, waiting to be embraced. Understanding this truth could change everything, for you, for your loved ones, and ultimately for our entire society. So, why keep such empowering wisdom hidden? Because a free soul is unstoppable. The Gnostic path isn't just a set of beliefs or doctrines. It's about personal, direct experiences that transform how we live our everyday lives. You don't have to wait for some far-off moment after death to enter your own version of heaven. You can begin shifting your vibration and accessing those higher realms right now. Start by practicing awareness in all your actions. Notice your thoughts, feelings, and reactions without judgment. This simple act fosters compassion, not just for others, but for yourself. Each moment you choose understanding over judgment, you chip away at the illusion that binds you. Imagine living without the fear of punishment. When you embody light and embrace who you really are, those old barriers fall away. This is the essence of awakening. The true heaven isn't found in some distant paradise. It's accessible here and now through a conscious life. What Christ referred to as eternal life is not about physical existence. It's about a consciousness that remembers its divine source, an unbreakable connection that defies the limits of ordinary experience. In this state, you realize that enlightenment isn't a destination. It's a journey that unfolds with each choice rooted in love and truth. As we reflect on our journey through life, it's vital to realize that heaven and hell aren't distant realms reserved for our souls. They are reflections of our inner landscapes. The Gnostics understood this profound truth, as did the mystics who followed. You're not merely a body burdened by sin. You're a spark of divine consciousness, here to explore and experience life. When the end arrives, remember, death is not an ending, but a revelation of who you truly are. In that moment, the concept of afterlife dissolves, replaced by the realization that eternity resides within you right now. Embrace this truth, and you'll find that the real afterlife begins the moment you awaken to the divine essence within.